All right, what's poppin'? You're listening to the As Yet Named podcast with DJ Hairston. I haven't come up with a name yet, but hopefully we get a couple of followers and you can help me out with that. I want to start this off just to let y'all know that despite me having a shirt and tie on, these takes are completely uninformed. I'm not looking up nothing. I'm not researching nothing. If I don't know it, then I don't really care. I'm gonna be honest with you. I just don't like. Why are we doing this whole you gotta research everything and you gotta know the facts. No, no one cares about facts anymore. We're living in Trump's America, okay? So we're done with facts. We're just going right off the top of the dome. So with that, let's get into it. First topic. Oh yes, oh yes. This is when we turn it on. Give me the music. We are about to be star spangled awesome. This summer is the 2024 Olympics, and America's ready to take the crown again. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not tolerating any of this anti-American bullshit. Oh my God, America's a crumbling empire. I don't give a fuck. All right? I don't care. We are that shining city on the hill, and this summer we're coming down from that hill to let all these other dumbass countries know that we are the true Olympians. It's not in Greece. It's in America, baby. Like, first of all, look, here's the thing. Every Olympics, all these other countries, they like get their best people. We're not sending our best to the Olympics. We're not sending our best. We're sending our very, very good. But what Tyreek Hill got to play football in the fall. We can't be having him just run the 100. But you know who we do got? Noah Lyles. And let's be fair, Noah Lyles is definitely 100% faster than Tyreek Hill. I mean, you know, it is what it is. He's the fastest person in the world. Now, it's kind of lame. I'm not going to lie to you. Some of the shit that he does, don't like it. Not a fan. But he's our lane. He's the first athlete I feel like I could beat in something they care about. We're talking about Yu-Gi-Oh, of course. Like, I know he's got the Exodia, but that's not fair. He's rich. Like, he can just get whatever card that he wanted. Catch me in 9th grade with a pack that I just made. You know what I'm saying? Me and my boy Alex, every day, this motherfucker called my black Air Force Ones, Butler Force Ones, and I will never forgive him for that. Motherfucker, 6 foot tall, light skin. I don't like this nigga. He's goofy, by the way, but he was a really good Yu-Gi-Oh player, and I guarantee you the battles that me and Alex had, Noah don't know nothing about that. He's too young. He's too young. When Yu-Gi-Oh was popping, what was he, like 5? No. I was in high school, buddy. No. That being said, he's about to cook these niggas in a race. I don't care who it is. Like, you put Noah on the line. I've seen it. It's so easy for him for the 100. He doesn't have the best, like, out the gate. But boy, when he gets up to his top speed, he is blowing by a lot of these dudes, man. And, like, that's the thing. That's what we're going to do. And that's just the men's 100. We didn't talk about the young boy we got out there running that 400. He ran a sub 45 every single trial. That is why he is on. That's why he's on our relay team. Like, what is his name? Quentin something. What's the boy name? I don't know the boy name. I'm gonna find the boy name out by the time the Olympics start. But I know that he is the fastest 16-year-old in the history of 16-year-olds. He's out there running with grown men and smoking them. And we got an 18-year-old that didn't make the cut. He didn't set the the under 18 world record like the Quentin kid did. But come on, bro. Like, y'all are done. I know Jamaica. Look at us. We're Jamaica. We're the Jamaican national team. I don't know with your bobsled asses. This is America, baby. We out here. And don't get me started on Sha'Carri. Look, here's the thing about Sha'Carri. I remember a couple years ago, she got disqualified for smoking weed. It is what it is, man. Them's be the breaks. You smoking weed, you weren't supposed to, you got disqualified. Did she cry? Did she try to get all the sympathy? Yeah, look at me. No, it's unfair. No, she went to the motherfucking lab. That's where she went. She went and just got faster. And then she started beating them and tagging them. And now, I don't know if they all running in the Olympics. I don't know. Where the Jamaicans at? I don't know. Sally Ann Price, I guess she qualified for one, but all right. We about to see. We got Sha'Carri over here. What do you have? Like, I get it. You got the world records. And, oh, yeah, we won last time. This ain't Rio. I don't even know what the last Olympics was. That's why it's irrelevant. We out here in Paris, baby. Gay Paris. And that's how we gonna do it. We gonna win. And don't, Sydney, did you see her? She was cruising in the back half of that 400. She runs a faster 400 women's hurdles than like most professional men run a flat 400 hurdle. And I'm not talking about these Olympic caliber dudes. The Olympic dudes, they're running what, 45, 44? She's running like 50, 51 with hurdles. What are we really doing? That's how we do it. And it's not even just about on the track, right? Like, let's take it to the pool. Let's go to the pool. Let's go swimming. Let's go for a dive. You know what I'm saying? First of all, we had to get Michael Phelps. You know, he won too much. He won too much winning. Y'all had to get him up out of there. Y'all had to try to get him to age out. And then I saw that little interview where whoever was talking whatever crap, my man's about to pull that up off the rafters. All right? Y'all better stop talking before he pulls that thing off the rafters. All right? But we ain't talking about him. We talking about the female Michael Phelps today. Katie Ledecky. I don't know how to say it, but that little redhead girl is fast. If it was a race between her and a shark, you better give the shark 50 meters. That's how I'm going. That's how we going. And we got this other chick. We got a black chick in there. Yeah, she was crushing at Worlds this year. I think she only qualified for the 500-meter freestyle, but she's still going to kill that. She's still going to kill that. And her hair is going to be fly. And she's going to get out there and hit you with one of these. Hit you with one of these. You not. Can't wait. Can't wait. Can't wait. And then Team USA, they're about to walk through it. I get it. Canada. They're Canadians. They're very, very nice people. They have very, very nice maple syrup. Is RJ Barrett? Are you really choosing RJ Barrett over LeBron? Is that what you're doing? Is you going to choose RJ Barrett over LeBron? Shut up. It's stupid. You're stupid. America's going to walk away with it. You know who I like? I like France. You got Rudy Gobert playing for the home team. And it's about to be hilarious when he walks home with silver. I guess he always does walk home with silver. I don't know. He ain't nice at all, but Anthony Edwards is the guy on that squad. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. If you had a squad, Anthony Edwards is the guy on that squad. So, basically, this year for the Olympics, I am anticipating that America is going to run away with it. I don't know who we got in shooting. I guess I worry about them Swiss and the Russians. The Russians are pretty good at the shooting, but they ain't good enough. I will find a 16-year-old in Idaho, and he will outshoot all of y'all. You know what I'm saying? Just let him know. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of angry white men, did y'all see Bobbi Althoff? She is every white dude's, number one fear. I like her. I'm glad she's living her life. She's single. She's, doing her thing, making her money everywhere I go. And everything that I see of her, I like her. This most recent video, she's getting carried hammered drunk at some sort of club and getting carried out by a football player. A black football player at that. First and foremost, terrible look. Black man, you cannot be carrying drunk white girls out the club. I know. They have meetings about this. We heard about it a long time ago. It's just not a good look. It's not good look. But I get it. Bobby seems like she's cool and she's fun, and I don't think anything happened. But goddamn, a couple years ago. That's all I'm saying. Be safe, my nigga. But she was married, had a husband, had a kid. They were doing well. She had just had the kid, started doing interviews, started hanging out with rappers. I think you can always kind of see it in her eyes. You can look at a girl like that. Look at a girl like Bobbi in her face. She looks like she had a really good life. She, her dad was around. She probably didn't like him, but he was in the picture. Real sheltered, met this dude. I understand that he's some sort of finance tech guy. They're living the dream. They're having kids. And she's like, I want a little more. I want just a little bit more. And we know what that means. He knew what it means. He tried not to say it. Sometimes the incels are right. They're just right. They're just right. Like, she wanted a little bit more. Yeah. And now she's being carried out of the club by like 6'5", 250-pound black dudes that can barely rush the edge. Like, we'll see how this season goes, but he's not like the best. And I guarantee you, every white, first of all, getting real racist with it. Just super racist. I don't know why y'all keep doing that. We'll talk about y'all in a little bit. But real racist with it. Ridiculous. But also, same time, they was right. At least her husband was right. I'm not going to say that every girl in that situation is right, but, you know, there's a whole category of pornography for this, and she fits right in that category. I think she had been waiting to do that for a long, long time. And I'm glad. I'm glad she's free. Free. Falling. Yes, free falling. I'll tell you that much. Some balls is getting free up in there. That sucks for her. What else is going on the Twitter world? Oh, the Young Thug trial? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Young Thug has the most badass criminal defense attorney, like, in the country. And it's mostly an opportunity thing because I know plenty of criminal defense attorneys that already did the same thing. But god damn, he did it. He called that judge out. He was like, lock me up. 5 to 10, but I ain't do it. You know what I'm saying? And he said, lock me up with thugs so I can adequately prepare for trial. Like, do you know if he went, how many clients he got? Like, do you know how dope that was? And for a little background, for those that don't know, Young Thug is on trial for some sort of conspiracy. I believe he may or may not have ordered the hits of several people. Do I believe that he did it? He wore a dress, and no one said anything. So he's on trial for several murders. And during the course of his trial, it's like this whole big RICO thing that they keep doing in Atlanta. It doesn't seem to work out. I don't know why they keep doing it. It's a stupid thing that was used to get gangsters. Pretty much, they get you for like running or organizing a criminal conspiracy. So, you know, it's you, your friends, they got to show that you were in some sort of criminal enterprise. And then specifically for Young Thug, they got to show that he ran it, that he was like the main guy. And was he the main guy? Probably not. No one said anything when he wore that dress. Like, not anything. I mean, there was a couple chuckles on the interwebs, but it was like, we gonna let that wear that dress. So he's on trial for this conspiracy, and there's a bunch of people, obviously, that need to testify to say that, you know, he did criminal activities, or they witnessed it, or he ordered them to do criminal activities. Just, you know, all the rigmarole, all that jazz that prosecutors try to do. During the course of the trial, several of the witnesses clearly do not want to testify against Thug because, again, he wore that dress, and no one said anything. That just tells you the type of man that he is. And so, apparently in Atlanta, and it's probably like this in most jurisdictions that I just like never noticed. I never seen it happen or heard of it happening, but also they're not going to tell me. That's the whole point. So they dragged this witness in with the judge and the prosecutor and a court reporter. I don't know why he had a court reporter in there. It only got worse from there. But they drag him in with this court reporter, and essentially in the meeting, they're telling him like, yo, you have immunity. We gave you immunity. That means anything that you say on the stand, we cannot prosecute you for. You have to go and testify against Young Thug. Dude's like, nah, I'm not testifying. So they're like, all right, well, we'll hold you on what I would call a material witness warrant, which is essentially you have to be held in custody until you testify. Dude was like, fine, rack it up. They're like, well, this trial could take 2 years, which is like a whole other thing. Why are trials taking 2 years? That's the most ridiculous thing I ever heard. Like, yo, get there on Monday at 9 and keep going until you're done. There ain't that many witnesses in the world. There ain't that many crimes in the world. And if you're a prosecutor and you're just up there playing hours and hours of video, you don't know what you're doing. Stop wasting the people's time. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. So the prosecutor's like, yeah, it could take up to 2 years to to do this. And the dude's like, rack him up. And he's like, and I'm going to hold you on a material witness warrant for all the rest of these people. We're talking like 30 people. That could be up to 60 years. And legally, he could do that because the dude said he didn't want to testify. So the dude's like, so the guy's like, all right, I'll testify, but I'm going to lie. And the prosecutor is like, okay. So they're supporting perjury. I don't exactly know how Atlanta's going to handle that, but the prosecutor was like, okay. And I imagine it's one of those things where, well, I didn't exactly know that he was lying, except for he told you in a transcribed interview that he was going to lie. But whatever. So the attorney, and let me, okay, I said I wasn't going to look up nothing, but man, respect, I'm going to put some respect on my man's name. So the attorney hears about this meeting, I imagine from the other dude's lawyer. And so he hears about this meeting, and he goes into the judge, and he's like, yo, bro, what the fuck? Like, what are we doing here? Like, you can't just have these meetings. And the judge is like, well, I was like, yeah, actually, I can, in fact, have these meetings, and I did have these meetings, and I'm mad at you for even asking. Who told? He put out an order that said, who told him about this meeting? Who out here snitching? Which judges apparently, and aside, Young Thug's lawyer is a white dude, the judge is a black dude. Before we even get it, Brian Still, let's go. Still man that. Let's go. Brian Still, my nigga, let's go. I don't even know him like that, but I rock with him. I rock with him. Bro, Brian, holla at me, man. Holla at me. You know what's going on. Anyway, like, you know what it is, man? Anyway, so this judge is like, oh, who told on? Who told on me? I'm the judge. Who told on me? You can't tell on me. And then, so Brian Still filed a motion for him to recuse himself. And he was all, blah, 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 blah. I don't know if that's what he really said, but that's what judges sound like to me when they talk sometimes. They're, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to break the law. I'm going to violate the Constitution. And then, so he was like, I'm not going to recuse myself. And then, now it's a whole rigmarole. It's a whole thing. And at this point, it really don't matter. They should be offering Thug a deal because Brian is going to get up there and close an argument and be like, they had secret meetings where people said they were going to lie. And they threatened them with 60 years of prison if they didn't come and testify against Thug. Why? Because their whole case is paper thin. It is as thin as this order this judge did not sign to recuse himself because he wanted to make sure there was a conviction. He wanted to make sure that all the lies, he wanted to make sure that all those little smoke and mirrors that the prosecutor pulled, he wanted to make sure that they not only got admitted, but that they were used to convict Thug. So, like, if I'm Brian Still, I'm hammering them in front of that jury. I am hammering them for being generally dumb. Because, here's the thing, Young Thug's a rapper. That's also one of the things. I'm going to pull that clip up. Young Thug's in there, and they played his rap lyrics. And Brian, he was like, and you want to know what? He was riding on that beat. He was riding on it. He riding on the beat midway through his murder trial or conspiracy trial. I don't even know what the man's charged with. I just know, at this point, free Thug. Bro, like, free Thug. Like, what? Can we get Thug on a Not Like Us remix? Or can we get Thug to come save Drake's career? Like, I just want Thug to be free. I just want to get more Thugger. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm asking for. Especially with this whole sham trial. Here's the thing I always tell people. People are like, well, how do you represent someone when you know they're guilty? First and foremost, guilty or not guilty is a legal term. You're only guilty if you plead guilty or if a jury or a judge finds you guilty. So I don't know. I never represented... It's very rare, unless they go like probation or something. At this point, we're at the trial. We're determining the guilt or the innocence. What you're really asking is, how do you represent someone when you know they did it? And the reality is, I don't know that they did it. I can sure suspect, but I don't know that they did it. I'm going to follow the evidence. I'm going to do my job. I'm going to represent my client to the best of his ability. All this whole, like, how do you know if someone did it? I don't know. And even if they told me, it's not whether, or that doesn't have any bearing on my representation. The Constitution does not say you get a fair trial only if you didn't do it. Like, that's not how this works. You get a fair trial. you get a competent attorney. That's what I am. Without competent attorneys, like, we are the last bastion of democracy, like, of freedom and liberty. Because you know what they used to do? They used to throw us in the star chambers. And I know, Americans, they love to think that the world started in 1777. Nope. We had thousands of years, hundreds of thousands of years of human history. That's another thing. I don't want to get into it today, but we're going to go 1,000 for the normies. We had thousands of years of human history. The same people that built the pyramids are the same us. They got the same motivations, fears, loves. They're going through a lot of the same things. We just have better technology. And in all of that time, the founders of the Constitution, and we won't get to them in a second because Republicans, y'all messing up. But the founders of the Constitution took all of that human history and they added to it. And that's why, like, we have the amendments that we have. It wasn't just pulled out of thin air. In fact, there's a lot of debate about it, like a whole lot of debate. A bunch of white dudes arguing about freedom and liberty. When they say slavery, they mean taxation. They couldn't imagine themselves being a black person in 1765. But that's neither here nor there. The words that they said: freedom, liberty, justice for all, fair trial, fair representation, fair trial, right to an attorney, like, all of those things, just as important back then as they are today. And that's what Thug is getting, or at least that's what his attorney Brian Still is trying to give him. But this judge clearly don't care. So, I had other topics, but since we are here, let's talk about it. Let's start off with the Supreme Court, right? Like, first and foremost, this is the dumbest Supreme Court I've ever had in my, I guess I've only had a couple in my lifetime, but I read about a bunch of them, and these got to be the most. When Clarence Thomas and Samuel Alito are the most respected members of your court ain't doing well. They both used to carry water for Scalia. They wouldn't have an original thought if Scalia put it in their head. So, like, when they're the most respected members of the court, we're not doing well. And then you got Amy Coney Barrett, who is essentially Sarah Palin with a law degree. Like, she's dead behind the eyes. She is a Christian religious zealot. Like, that's what she is. We're going to talk about the Southern strategy, but yeah, that's what she is. Then what do you got? You got Roberts. So spineless. He's like the weakest Chief Justice I've ever seen. Like, who was it? Okay. Justice Hugo Black, right? He was a Klansman. He was in the Klan, hood and all. You could say it's for politics. You could say it's for this. You could say it's for that. It don't matter. My man put on the hood. But then, when it came time for him to rule on the Civil Rights Amendment, he realized he had a backbone. He realized, hey man, if I don't do this, it is going to tear this country apart. Let me do something for the good of the country. Roberts can't do that. Roberts, I think he did one with the ACA, like he was the one that penned the opinion for the Affordable Care Act. But where are you at on Citizens United? You essentially turned our democracy over to whoever has the deepest pockets. Like, money isn't speech. I don't care that you wrote it down. That's like the craziest thing, is that you write it down and everyone's like, well, that's just, no, it's not. There was vigorous argument. Reasonable people could agree. Money isn't speech. Like, money is money. Money is used as a tool. I wouldn't say a hammer is speech. I wouldn't say a screwdriver is speech. It's not, money itself is not speech. How you use that money, you could use that money to speak, to amplify, but it in of itself ain't speech. And so, Roberts, you're terrible. Gorsuch, I don't know. We'll see. You're looking real Kennedy right now. I don't know which way you're going to go. I got nothing bad for you. Kavanaugh, however, whiny little bitch. Like, that's so crazy to me that, like, America watched a grown man cry on TV and still said, yeah, that should be our justice. He's the one. He's got the temperament to handle. And that's like a whole other thing. They're always like, oh, women are more emotional than men. Anger's an emotion. Shame's an emotion. That's why most of these dudes drink. You know, punching holes. You're not punching holes in walls because you're a stable person. You're not crying. I like beer. I like beer. I don't care. That committee was not a court. It was also years later. I happen to believe her. So, and you cried about it. You cried. You little crybaby. Little crybaby boy. Little crybaby boy now making decisions for everyone's lives. And, like, are they good decisions? Some of them. I don't know. I just don't look at him and look at someone that I think should be in charge of America. And, like, the court reflects where the Republican Party is now. Like, you used to be a party of, like, morals and respect. Scalia, for one, I just brought him up. I didn't agree with everything he said, but it, like, made sense. It had some backbone. Okay, and to be fair, Clarence Thomas, if I'm not mistaken, you hate the Dormant Commerce Clause, so if you're just getting rid of stuff, can you please get rid of that? That's neither here nor there. Scalia, his opinions used to actually have something to them. They used to have, like, even if you didn't agree with them, you'd be like, that was good. That was a good opinion. That was a good one. Now, all these opinions are 50 pages of meandering, essentially trying to get around the fact that you're just subverting the Constitution. Like, half of what you say is gobbledygook. It just is you loving to hear yourself talk. What is it? Marbury versus Madison? That's like a page long. What are you saying in 50 pages that you couldn't figure out how to say in 10? Some nonsense. That's what it is. Long opinions, I'm not a fan of long. Short opinions, you know, short and sweet to the point. You got to explain yourself. But once we start getting into 20, 30, 40 pages, no, you're not. No, you're not. This isn't analysis at this point. This is you hearing yourself talk and trying to justify some BS. That's how I feel. And, like, that's the Republican Party right now, is they're just so moralist. You know, okay, so I brought up the Southern Strategy. For those that don't know, the Southern Strategy, after Barry Goldwater, what, did he win or did he lose? Whatever. After Goldwater, the Southerners were like, hey, man, the Southern Democrats were like, hey, man, we're losing, like, a lot. We're losing a lot. We got to figure this out. So then they leaned into religions. And that's where you started hearing the Jerry Falwells, the religious right, all of that. Was it by Dulles? Was Dulles the one? I know it started in Dallas. I'm pretty sure Barry Goldwater, whatever happened with Goldwater, and then Dulles was heavily involved in it. But essentially the plan was, we are going to stop we're going to stop saying words like black people. We're going to start saying urban. We're going to lean heavily on the religious right. Because before the Southern Strategy of the 60s, but Democrats were equally as religious. That's why there's so many older religious people that are Democrats. And you're like, well, how did that happen? Well, because before, the Republicans didn't have a monopoly on religion. And, like, being inclusive is cool and all, but you got to also have a united front. That was part of the Southern Strategy, is they spent the last 40-some-odd years, 60-some-odd years, trying to overturn Roe v. Wade. Like, that was it. That was, like, one of the biggest things that they did. Everybody shut up. They fell in line, and they got it done. So, like, that's objectively, that's admirable for a body politic, for a group of people over the course of the long term. It will never, ever happen with Democrats. We got to, you know, not necessarily we, but Democrats got to take their wins when they get them and hopefully solidify them with the president. And it's just, like, a completely different strategy. But, like, Republicans, they had the Southern Strategy, and it worked. And with that, it's another one in the books, folks. Thank you for listening all the way to the end. Please like, share, subscribe, all the podcast things. Now, have a good week.